Okay, this is like my fourth time recording this, and I want to actually get this done as fast as possible. I'm going to try not to rush this tutorial, but I'm going to try to get it done as fast as possible because it's 9:30 and I want to go to sleep soon. And I have no other better time to do this other than the weekend, which I'm not waiting like an extra, 3 days to do this. So, 4 days. I just can't be bothered, and I want to get this video out, and I've been trying for 2 weeks, so I might as well do it now. So that's the closing for the Observerless 5x5 carpet. This won't be an explanation, it'll just be the tutorial. I will only just be explaining things like what's this double extender, why is there a chest cart here instead of a regular furnace one, and what this is, and just the cool stuff. So this is the area. You need 10 by 2 by 20. This is the resources in here. 55 like building blocks. So this is like for the hallway that goes around to the carpets and the door frame. 45 dust, 40 sticky pistons, 16 pistons, 12 repeaters, 3 comparators, 9 slabs, 3 wrestling blocks, 4 torches, 1 lever. This is how the door will be inputted. I made a mistake. I am dumb. It is a button, not a lever. Now I've just made the door somewhat cheaper for you. This is the color coding. You need 52 blocks. This is blocks of netherite because I put this in here because I'm rich. And 7 slider blocks. So these are used in sliders. This red is for the input circuit. Cyan is the top quad. Lime is the single detector rail extender. Yellow is the double detector rail extender. Purple is the top control. And orange is bottom closing, or just the closing. And then these are for sliders. And this stuff you need for Minecart placement. So you need 6 droppers, 3 hoppers, 4 cobwebs, 4 note blocks, 3 detector rails, 8 iron and gold pressure plates, 1 tripwire hook, 3 cauldrons. None of these need water, they're just here to move minecarts. 2 composters, only 1 needs to be filled, so that's why there's 5 pumpkin pie and not 10 or whatever. 1's used to minecart, 1's to move a minecart, 1 is for signal strength, 3 soul sand, a conduit, 2 grindstones. The other grindstone's optional, it just makes the bottom slightly faster. 1 fence. You need 24 furnace minecarts, 2 chest minecarts, a hopper minecart, 2 items of your choice, could be anything, and then a random block just to cover up a note block from making it sound. This is optional. I'm using the carpet because that's what's mostly used. And then you need some stuff down here to position minecarts, so like a piston, a lever, enchantment table, just some stuff here. And you're going to need some extra soul sand maybe just to do this. So once you have your area, and wherever your walkway is, you're going to dig 6 blocks under your walkway, and you're going to build something like this. So it's going to be like a 5x5 thing like this. And then the carpet on top, and then you're going to do normal piston on the bottom, and stickies on top in the form of a piston worm. You're going to need 4 pistons like this, and they're all stickies. Also, one more thing, your door is offset by 1 block, I believe, so on this side there's 2 from the wall here, and then there's 1 from the wall. So just keep that in mind. And then on the top, you're gonna have, come on, a row of normal pistons like that. On this side, we're gonna have a detector rail there and a detector rail there. This side will be a double extender, and then over here on this side will be single extenders. And that's the whole layout. I am getting Discord notifications, but I can't be bothered to answer them. So, yeah. So let's continue. Let's just build the top. So just fill this in. Cyan here, cyan there. You'll notice that I missed a block. That is because there's going to be some minecarts going in there. So we're going to do that now. This is where your enchantment table moves in. You might as well just take this from your base if you just have it lying around. Otherwise, just use the creative menu. So first, you're gonna get a fence. You're gonna roll a minecart like this. You're gonna drop it down. You can drop another minecart on top, like so. Next, what you're gonna do is get one of your soul sand. from here, push that in, remove the enchantment table, and then push this soul sand in, remove this soul sand, and then push this minecart back in so the door is contained. And there we go. And that gets the, well, if I didn't break this, that gets added. Now, I'm going to use end portal frames for this because this is cool. Just block up any form of pushing because we don't want the door to break. I'm using end portal frames just for the joke, but you guys could just use obsidian if you really wanted to. But end portal frames are the best movable block ever, if you can agree with that. So we place a torch here, we place a block on top of it, and if you do not place the dust here, which might be hard, you can kind of aim at this block and place it, and you'll see that this spazzes out. And that is that minecart done. We can continue with this one. So we're going to have this, we're going to have a button. You can input this with any pulse that's more than a 2-tick pulse, because a 1-tick would not work, because this, you can input a 1.5-tick pulse or more to this door, so it doesn't matter. I use a button for its size. So next what we have to do is get this minecart in. I should actually be doing these later, but I'm going to be doing this now. So we're going to do something like that, drop it down, get a slab. I'm going to 0-tick this in, but I don't think you have to. Also, these minecarts with the soul sand is completely optional. But yeah, and now we'll be getting to purple, which is the control. But first, let's actually build cyan. So here, you're going to place a slab under the torch, and the torch is on the same side as this double extender. On this side, you're going to place a slab with a repeater on 2 ticks. Must be on 2 ticks, because you'll see in a second, where we push down a composter with 5 signal strength. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the reason for this is because when you send a 2-tick into a piston, like with like a container or a powering signal on the end, it will send a 1-tick. So this 2-tick turns into a 1-tick. And this does an entire quad extender. I can show you that by updating this burnout. It goes down, spazzes out a little. These would come in like this. So this would power this piston and bud this one while this is blocking at the moment. Then this one goes here, powers this one, buds this one and this one, retracts and retracts, and then when we fire it again, does the rest of the retraction. Now it happens really fast, but basically the idea is it's just really time pulses between different inputs. And this cyan circuit was not created by me, it was created by someone who is really genius. So yeah. Place your movable blocks back. I'm gonna use my end portal frames, obviously. Yeah, so if we continue, we're gonna need our, I think I did this wrong. Yes, this slab should not be there. It should be here. Like this, actually want more. Next we can place our purple block, and we can start building the trigger for the, to call it thing. So what we want is a bucket like this. We're gonna get a minecart inside 4 blocks without, you know, kind of messing it up and stuff. So the easiest way to do this is to have a curved rail like this. Place a minecart, remove the curved rails like this. Don't place a piston here yet because it'll break. You're gonna place a yellow block here and a repeater on 4. Now you can't place that, but we'll fix that in a second. First we need to place this slab in with an iron or gold pressure plate on it. It could also be wooden, but this is faster obviously. we are going to get a cobweb here. We're going to pull this up, and then we're going to place a repeater under this block, like that. We can also place a piston here. It's fine if it pushes that, that's what we want. And now we have the timer in. So if we remove this, if we pull this up, this is going to go down, these are going to power, and then it's going to go back up at the right time. And that's how the top is controlled. And these minecarts just make this faster. So yeah, and set this one on 4. And that's for later. So now let's do lime. So, yeah, so we drop it here. Hopper, put any item you want inside. And this part's from the pressure plate turning on, so this acts like a toggle. 4 tick repeater, 4 tick repeater, 4 tick repeater, and a 3 tick repeater on the end. We're going to place this sticky piston here with that. Place this dust. We're going to redirect it with a tripwire hook or a trap chest. Tripwire hook's better because you can't really interact with it. We're going to place a composter here, a fence. This is another one of those composters that are useless. They don't hold anything. We're going to roll in a minecart like this, and we're just going to pull it up. Place a green block there and a pressure plate. So when this pushes down, I'm just going to move this. Normally when there's no block here, it's just going to go right down, and you can see I'm clicking, I can't place it. But when there's a block here, it's going to hit, the minecart's going to hit the block, and it's going to stop. And it can't go anymore, so it's just going to hit the pressure plate because the block blocks it, and then you pull it back up, it just does this. Now we have to actually do the minecarts that are inside here. Now these minecarts are kind of easy, the other ones are really annoying, and probably in the last good take, it probably took me a good 10 minutes just to do these minecarts. Plus, with distractions in the background, probably added another 5. So that's why it's important to make videos at the correct time. Okay, so first what we're going to do is get a fence. I'm going to roll it, actually it's this way, remove the detector rail. I'm going to roll in a minecart like so. Move that, it's actually going to sit on this block. Place the detector rail back. Remove this. Technically this is still needed for now before we do those minecarts. Now to get this minecart is quite easy. We're going to roll it towards the piston stack, not away from it. It's very important, because otherwise this, 1, will not work, but 2, it allows it to work. If that actually makes sense, because if you have the other way, if you have it the other way, the base, you can't really see it, but like the base of the minecart will clip and just stay on top of this rail like a regular minecart would. If it was, it would be like this basically. So it'd be floating and it would go like this. But because we pushed it forward, the base of the minecart is actually over here. And I just call it the base. I don't know if that's actually what it's called, but I'm just going to call it the base. The base of the minecart is actually over here. Therefore, only part of it's touching. So it's going to just turn it on like that. And we have to drop an extra minecart here to prevent the piston stack from moving this middle minecart and breaking it. So next we can fill this in, and that's actually almost the entire top, besides the annoying side, which is that double extender over there. Push this in, place this back, place this, dust, this, cyan, this, lever, dust, and aim at the side block there. And that will do the entire top. So if we press this button, it should do that side. I am confused. Okay, fine. I don't know why it just like failed. Okay, just fail on me again. We'll see what the issue is. Oh, I see. I'm just stupid. Just remove. It worked. It's just I didn't remove the immovable blocks. So now it powers like that, and that's gonna pull up, like so. So that does the side, and now we do this side, and this side's the painful side. So before we do anything else, we're gonna do the stupid minecarts first, because that's probably best to get it out of the way. So we're gonna move this entire area out, so you can see. It's gonna be really annoying. So prepare for madness. We're going to place a chest next to the detector rail. Roll a minecart in. It's important that it's a chest and not anything else. First, we need to... Actually, you can just keep this block. We need to get a minecart to sit in between 4 blocks in such a way so that when this is extended, it doesn't power here, but it will power here. And the reason why it needs to go in between 4 blocks is so it sits on top of this minecart. Because we can't just have a regular minecart sitting in here like we have over here, because the minecart would just fall through the block and land on the floor. So this is like the only way to do it. The only other way you could do it is if you had a vertical soul sand minecart where it could clip minecarts from underneath, so they would hang from underneath the soul sand and they acted like a minecart so you could place dust in it, but that doesn't exist. Or does if he saws music, I'm joking. Okay, so this, we push it, so we get it into a fence, same direction as before, we push it towards it, like this, and we're going to push it into an anvil, because the side of the anvil is, this little part here, is less than a chest, but it's also perfect not to part the detector rail. We're going to push this in, like so. We need another minecart to be pushed into this one. It has to be facing like this, so it doesn't like fail. So it's gonna be like this. We're gonna push it in like that, so it hits this minecart. And then what we're gonna do after this is send a minecart this way, so the opposite way, and we're going to push it into this minecart as well. Now the other way does not work for some reason, but yeah, so we're going to push this into there, push this there, and then we can push this one back this way. So now we can remove this, remove that, remove, place this, and drop all of this down. Nice. Next we can place some of this stuff back. Like so. I'm getting spam DMs. So the only thing left is to place a minecart on top of these. Now what we can do to do that is place a fence here, minecart here, drop it. We're going to actually not drop it, we're going to push it across so it falls there. And then last but not least, we're going to push it across, not like that. That would be positioned the other way, but this is perfectly fine. So next we have, now that we have those carts in, those are the annoying ones, we can place this, that, this, and portal frames. Push. Sticky piston there, sticky piston there, sticky piston there, sticky there, lever, dust. Aim at the back pistons there to place the 2 missing dust. under these 2 blocks. And then we have to add this slab. So this should work, otherwise I'm going to have to redo this, and I'll cut this out if I have to redo this. Okay, seems fine. And if we remove this and this, we do this, and we powers. Now the reason why we have so many minecarts here is because, well, this one under here is to hold this middle one. This minecart up here blocks this one from moving the piston stack. This one here is, I don't know why this one's here, but it was just here in the first place. This one is to block this double extender from moving this minecart over, which would, 1, break the door, and it would make it only a one-use door, and 2, it'd be bad. So yeah, so now let's continue with the yellow circuit. So the yellow circuit is this double extender. So we have 4 tick here, and we're going to start with this double extender thing. So this double extender goes here. Like this. We get a fence. We're gonna roll this minecart in here to hit that fence. We're gonna remove this cauldron now, just so I don't have to place it back and remove the water. I'm just gonna pull it back like this, and then remove this. We're gonna float it like so. So if I go like this, you can see it's going to lift up a little because it's in a float position. It's basically the distance, like the amount that it's pushed over the edge, is stored as a float value. So that's why it's like this. We push this fence back in. Well, we don't have to. Place this iron pressure plate and a grindstone here. And this basically does this. So what happens is during the burnout, this is going to go down, then it's going to get pulled back up because of this minecart. And then perfectly timed with the burnout, this repeater is going to power this piston, not this one. So yeah, it's going to power this one, not this one. So therefore we get more delay. Then on the next burnout, like, because 4 ticks only power twice from a burnout. So the first time it's going to go like this. Then the next time it's going to do this. And actually power it, which is what we want. But on the opening, it's going to do this again. So to fix that, what we're going to do is we're going to block it like this, so that it's just going to do this. So it doesn't power again, which is really cool. So what we're going to do is have a detector rail here, but we need to place a minecart in here first. Let's place a fence. Like that. Soul sand. We're going to use soul sand because, 1, it's better to not use another. Okay, so maybe I should not mess that up next time, because I'm genius. Minecarts there. Break this, break that, break this. We're gonna have to pull it up and then place the repeater on it. It won't power the pressure plate because it's not there. Oh my god. That's perfectly fine, thank god. That might have failed. And then we're gonna So we have the soul sense so this minecart doesn't move up, and the other reason is because it's cheaper. So we're going to push this back in. So we're going to have this. There's going to be a 2-tick repeater here. There's going to be a dust. I think that's on a slab. No, it's not. So we're going to push this in. We're going to have a dust. We're going to put a block here first, then do this dust. Place a dust on the soul sand, and then a 2-tick. So this is just a regular Abbey gate. So what's going to happen here? I'm just going to world edit these out so I don't have to push them back in. So what's going to happen here is when the detector rail gets pushed down, the minecart's going to sit on it, powering it. The same thing is over here and here. It's going to power the 2-tick. And yeah, it's going to power the 2-tick. And it's going to power this dust. Now, it's not going to power anything, because there's no pistons here. It's then going to power this dust into this 2-tick, and it's going to power this dust, which will extend this, but because this dust is already on, it's going to do this. Now, because when it gets pushed up, this dust powers first, it turns on, then this dust, so it's going to do this, then this, and then the last retraction will be handled afterwards. Now, in theory, this could be a cauldron and this could be a comparator, but just to skip out on the soul sand and the minecart, but like, this is cooler. So, yeah. I could show you that working once I place this piston. If I do this, it's going to extend, and then when I just give this an update, it's going to retract. So now, I don't know why that did that. I clearly removed those 2 blocks. Let's hope that none of this messed up. Okay, I don't think, no. So yeah, let's continue. So we're going to expand downwards with these yellow blocks. They go down to almost this block in the corner. So just going to do this. Well, not that. We're going to place some droppers. Place these 2 droppers like this and this. We're going to place a fence. We're going to get it's specifically a chest minecart or a hopper minecart, but chests look better. Now, it has to be one or the other, and it can't be a furnace minecart because there's going to be a dropper loop using this minecart, which is one of the only other times I've ever seen, besides the 1656 8-byte, which tutorial coming soon if I have time this weekend, where it actually uses a supposed furnace minecart, but in a loop. So this chest minecart is part of a loop, but it should also be a furnace minecart. What we're going to do is we're going to get an iron weight depression plate here, or gold. We're going to push this down. Let's remove that and this. Like this. It's just going to extend for now. Place a cobweb here, and then update it. So it retracts. Just move this, it makes it easier. So now that this is here, we can just focus on how this is going to get a constant pulse for blocking this. So the way that's going to be done is with this yellow block here, this dust, this note block, this piston here, this minecart under here, which has a note block here. We're going to roll this one in. It has to be rolled in specifically because it can't get stuck on the piston what's it called, piston inner hitboxes, and this dust will actually be redirected, but it doesn't matter, so I'm just going to do this now. So this dust will be redirected pointing this way, so we can't just have a block here, but instead what happens is it's going to bud through this dropper, but it's going to get updated from this note block. So I'm just going to place the carpet so it doesn't make like a sound, like this. And this actually does the entire double extender, except for the final pulse. So what we just built here is, I guess, the toggle. And this droppers have nothing to do with the toggle. For this double extender not powering it, it's part of the closing actually, but it's just used in yellow because, yeah. So to actually build the last refire, we're going to make a double floated minecart. So we're going to place a regular minecart. This glass block just sits on top of this cobweb here. We're going to place a sticky piston there, sticky piston here. We're going to float this way first, then this way. It doesn't matter the order, it's just made it easier to do. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to place a yellow block inside of it by pushing it in. We're going to place an iron pressure plate on it, come around here, a torch, and then like that. And that will do the whole double extender. So if we power this piston here, it's going to extend and then retract. So yeah, that actually does the entire top. Just don't test it because it might not work. We can move this and this. Let's hope it doesn't break. We can press the button. I actually remember the pressure plates. That's why you... So if I press the button now, it's going to go down. You can see it derps, then it pushes, fully retracts, and then it goes up. And you can see this gets blocked. I can show you that again. So you can, it's going to get timed. It's going to get like a derp in this position here. Then you can see this blocks it, and this can't go anywhere. So yeah, that does that, and let's do the entire bottom. So yeah, for the bottom, just place this, this, and this. Dust, dust, and dust. We're going to place red carpet, or just the carpet you're using, on top here. Now, this layout on the bottom is being used for many, just for a couple, but I think many, Observerless stores that need to get input into this, but we have a carpet in the floor here. So what we do is a very timed pulse to have it so this line but powers this, but updates rather. So we have dust here, a repeater. So what actually happens here is something cool, where when we power this repeater, this dust will push this piston across, and while it's in pushing, it's gonna block these sticky pistons from powering. But the repeater will already be on at that point. So when these pistons get pushed into here, they have the 100% guaranteed priority over these to push. Because these can never push, no matter if they get updated or not, like that. And then just push this back. So to actually power this, there's going to be a drop loop in here, but first, let's actually place the end portal frames here, and we're just going to power this piston for pushing back. But before we do that, let's actually build the Burnout Circuit that does this. Oh my god, I forgot about that. Just going to place this. Just going to leave that there for now. And I kind of forgot how this goes. Okay, so it's gonna be dust here. This doesn't have to be a slab, but I don't know why it is. So this, and that reaches all the dust. So now to actually power this piston, we're going to use well, this was changed in the in this version. The original version had something different, which was created by Red60, but this was changed to make it, because the original version that Red made was actually locational, but this version is not locational. So if we just place a piston here, remove the water, we place a minecart here, we're going to float it. So sticky piston, this, get a cauldron, buckets, and then we're going to push this down basically. I think I messed that up. No, I did not. I did mess it up. Drop it down a block so that the pressure plate actually matches this. So this is similar to this up here, where it will basically pull up the floating minecart like that. And that will power this redstone block, which will bud and power this with an update like this. So that does this, and let's actually do the this area, which is the part that took the longest in the door for the bottom wise, but the part that took the longest is actually yellow. So first we need to build the toggle. So continue the dropper loop by placing 2 extra droppers facing up. So it's 4 droppers in a row facing up. We're going to place this dropper here. We're going to place this hopper. We're going to place this comparator here. We're going to place this hopper. And that's the whole loop except for the minecarts. So one is quite simple. It's going to go in here, but first we need to actually remove this. So this is just a regular chest minecart. We need to remove this, this, and this. Now, we need to get from this chest minecart to this hopper. Now, there's a specific way that this is done. We need to get a hopper minecart in between, well, on this hopper, but it's sitting at the height of a trapdoor. Now, if you stand on a trapdoor, I'm at a height, if you look at my XYZ coords, I'm at 229.1875. The height of the trapdoor is 1.875 blocks. And that is important because of how this toggle actually works. This minecart needs to be on top of this dropper for only when this hopper minecart can suck out. If it's here and it will suck out, it will break instantly. And the closing will fire on every edge and the door will never actually be fully open. But when it falls fully down, putting the item in here, it actually works as a toggle. So the way we do that is with a conduit. The conduit has a height of, if you look at my F3, I'm at 225.6775. It has a height of 6875 blocks. And that's important because the height of 4 minecarts is, the height of 5 minecarts, I think it's 4, something like that. The height of 4 minecarts is 2.8 blocks. Plus the 5th minecart here, which makes it, 3.5. Now, the conduit is perfect because, if we just make a detector, a regular rail, click on, the 5 minecarts is 3.5 blocks tall, entity height wise. But if you add the height of the conduit, it gives 4.87, 4.1875, which is what's needed. So that 1875 part will just hang above here. So the way we're doing that is we're just rolling cards into the dropper. Now you're going to roll the first 4 like this. The next one has to be done fast. So that, or like that. The reason why is if you do it slow, the minecart will not go in there. So next, we have to, well, if my game will not freeze, it'd be nice. We have to push this one in. Now, the only issue with this one is, which I don't really like, is that it will move this chest minecart, but it's only just a little bit. It doesn't matter, it still works. And then next, we have to do a... So place a slab here, just makes it easier. Get an end rod. A fence could work, but the fact about the end rod is just it makes it easier to do this minecart. Because if it's a fence or a cobblestone wall, you need to push them in. But if you just use an end rod, it just makes it easier. So if you drop this down, it puts this as optimal height. And you can see that it is the same height as a trapdoor. You can see that this top of this minecart lines up perfectly with this trapdoor. It might not look like it, but it actually is. If I actually open F3 and B, you can see that the hitbox of this minecart under here lines up perfectly with the trapdoor, which is what's needed. Now the reason why we can't just place a trapdoor is because if you remember, there's a piston and note block inside of this, which kind of prevents that from happening, but yeah, it would be much easier if this wasn't here. So we're gonna just push this back in. It doesn't matter how we push it back in, as long as it just gets pushed in. Like so. And then we have to fix this minecart. Can my game not lag on me or whatever? So thank you. I'm gonna roll this furnace minecart back in. I was gonna say hopper minecart. Actually, I was gonna say chest. Carpet back there. Cobweb and iron pressure plate there and there. So the loop is done. We just need to get the output and for power in the bottom, which is perfect with this amount of room. So the way that this drop loop works is, it's better to explain when the door is actually like done. There's going to be one item inside of this dropper. I might have forgot to put that in the item list because there's a dropper there. Dropper there. Yeah, I might have forgot to put that in the item list, honestly, yeah. Because I had that yellow. But again, that is yellow. This should be an orange item, but yeah. We're gonna have this piston. We're gonna have this cauldron. We're gonna have a bucket. We're gonna curve another rail, first of all. Like this. Huh. Okay, just be like that, I guess. Am I doing this wrong? I think I am. Just curve it like this. Yeah. So a dust. Now we have to push this block in. Like this. We're gonna place this iron pressure plate. We need a cobweb here. I'm gonna get this cauldron to push in. This should be there. Okay, just make it like, you know, actually in. If we pull that up, it's going to just it's going to hit this. We need to place a repeater without it like breaking. So we're going to have to pull it up, place the repeater, wait for it to turn off, then place this dust. Like that. Next we can place this. Now that this minecart's in, there's a couple things remaining. This should be on a yellow block. I don't know why. No, I'm sorry, this should be an orange. This one's on yellow. And this grindstone's optional, it just makes the bottom faster. So, I think this should be the whole door. Don't test it, because it might not work for you. That should have retracted. So, let's put one up. I think, yeah, so because of how I did it, it's not going to hit that grindstone. So I got to actually flip the grindstone around, so, and grindstones are not really pushable. It's going to, we'll edit it out, but too late. So just that. That's just my fault. And then this can all be removed. And this toggle's not off, and the item is in this chest minecart. So let's actually make sure this opening works. Like that. Okay, so here's how this dropper would work. The idea is the item will start in this dropper. When this pressure plate powers from yellow, it's going to bud and update this. Turning off this comparator, sending the item to here. When this pulls this minecart up, it's going to hit the pressure plate lock in the hopper. When this pressure plate turns off, it's going to hit this, it's going to go into this dropper. This vortex is going to send it up, 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 up with this dust powering as well, into this minecart, which is already up here. Now, the reason why this minecart in here, this hopper minecart, has to be a height of 1875 or a trapdoor, is because if this chest minecart is any lower or not, or pretty much just, if it's powering this pressure plate, this will suck it out and return the item back into here, basically just making it like a giant dropper hopper monostable. It'll turn off and then back on again, which we can't have that because closing has to power only once per edge. But it being at this height, so with this being a soul sand, when this is pushed up, it's going to hit the cobweb. But if this was a regular glass block, this will say, it would just fall through the glass block and just, not glass block, and hit this pressure plate. But because the soul sand has internal hitboxes, one at every eighth, this one sits at the 3.75 one, which I believe is the 4/8 or something like that. No, not 4/8, it's the 3/8. I'm done. 4/8 is 0.5. But it only sits there because it hits this cobweb. So when this gets pushed down, it has a little bit of delay before this gets pushed back up. Because you can see, with how much part of this minecart is in the outline of the cobweb, it doesn't spend that much time in it. So when the item in the chest minecart, which is not there at the moment, I'll show you. So it's going to fall, power the pressure plate, the item is going to go in here, then in here, and then all the way up in here. Now that it's stuck up here, what will happen next is when you power it, this is going to fall. It's going to put the item inside of this hopper minecart. But when it's going to try to return it back to the dropper, and it's going to not make the closing power again, because this dropper is already being powered by the time the item is already in this hopper. So this dropper powers, but there's nothing inside of it, so this just doesn't extend. Then the item goes in while it's being powered, so this just extends and never retracts, because this only gets powered once. The only other time this would get powered again on the either closing or opening is when the burnout goes, because this burnout has this dust bud powering this dropper and getting updated from the snow block powering this, but that doesn't matter on the closing because the item is in the chest cart and it can never get back down until like the opening happens. So you'll see that the item will just return back to here, and it will just work. Hopefully that drop made sense. It's quite complicated, but yeah. So that's the whole door. This is the first time I actually managed to complete this tutorial without any like pausing or any failures at all, and this is actually the first tutorial where I memorized the door pretty much, because this door is quite simple to memorize. But yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will try to get back with my lack of uploads with the 1656 8x8 tutorial on either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday if I have the time for it. One or the other, and I will try to get that done. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, learned something about how the door works. I'll see you next time. Okay, like and sub.